Okay. Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, thanks. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, nice of you to come by. And I see all your books back there. Looks like a good collection. How many books do you have published?
I have three published so far, with the fourth one, that's kind of the poster on the side there, going to be coming out next August.
We got the sheet from your publicist, and it's got a wonderful description of your book and some quotes and people's reviews. There's absolutely nothing on here about you. And in fact, your name's not even on this sheet at all. So I was going to just begin there because I think we need to have a little bit of about the author as a warm up. So why don't you tell us about you
Oh,
first
geez.
and
All
what
right.
you've been
Well,
doing with your life, and then we'll pivot over to the book, okay?
all right. Well, I'm Andrew Varga. Yeah. Let's see. I'm Canadian. Live just outside the Toronto area. Uh, I actually started getting into writing probably about 25 years ago. I have a degree in history from U of T. Um, I, but I ended up working in the tech field. So, as someone who has a history degree but not a um, output for it, I started writing, and I was writing a book that just didn't go anywhere. It was a fantasy comedy like Terry Pratchett. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. I'm a great fan of Terry Pratchett. And yeah, I just was working on that for 10 years and it was just going nowhere. So that's when I kind of made this decision that I need to start something different. And this is where the origin of that series, the current series that I'm writing, came from. I know that's not really much about me. That's the origin of the series. Myself, yeah, I have a wife, three kids, way too many animals in the house. And yeah, I work a regular, like, normal day job and then masquerade as an author in the evening.
Okay, well, I guess I got to ask why you decided to start writing. Was it something at work? Was it the boredom, or was it just you felt unfulfilled, or what was it?
Oh, it was definitely the unfulfillment. So when I first graduated from university, I had all these, papers in hand saying I have a degree, but it was in the heart of a recession, so there was no jobs, and I was working as a waiter. It's like, not really the most fulfilling, work environment for a university graduate. So that's what really brought me writing to begin with, especially since I actually have a degree in history, and I also did English. So both are really writing heavy disciplines. So I was kind of used to churning out stuff, and then suddenly I stopped, except for scribbling on a notepad what the people were ordering. So that's where it all kind of began from.
I see all the different books back there, and this particular book, The Mongol Accession, is it Ascension, right?
Ascension, yeah.
Okay. This is book three of the series.
Yeah. Book one is The Last Saxon King. It takes place in 1066 England. So the entire series is about a modern day teen who gets sent back in time and has to go fix glitches. I like to call it kind of like a Quantum Leap meets Harry Potter sort of idea, if you're familiar with the Quantum Leap TV show, because there's always sort of glitches in the past that need to be fixed. Otherwise, it's all going to mess up the time stream. So book one, he gets sent back to 1066 England. Book two, The Celtic Deception, he gets sent back to Wales during the Roman occupation when the Roman legions were trying to conquer the Celtic peoples there. And then book three, The Mongol Ascension, he gets sent back to Mongolia during the rise of Genghis Khan.
It's my understanding about time travel that people have been warned not to mess with the past because it'll screw up the future.
As I said, the idea behind it is more like a quantum leap thing where the past is already being messed up somehow. I call them glitches, time glitches, where the natural path of history is as we know it, but something has occurred to set the history on an incorrect path and that incorrect path is going to have drastic repercussions on the present. So the idea behind my time travelers is they're always going back to the past in order to fix things.
Oh, I see. Was somebody there before him screwing it up?
So I actually don't tell people how the glitches are happening until later on in the series.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's kind of one of the mysteries of, what's causing all these glitches to begin with. But there is an overarching storyline that connects all the books of the series together. Since these time travelers who go back to fix things is way too much of work for just one person, there's multiple of them, and a few of them have become disgruntled with their part in the world, and they want to basically take over and rule. So there's a overarching storyline that connects all the books together.
Now, is this teenager, is he from the future, from now?
Yeah, he'd be considered like a modern day teen. He's from our present.
He's from our present. Okay.
He's from our present. Okay. And yes, he in book one he had no idea about all of this world of time travel, of secret societies, of glitches. He just knew his dad gave him a very weird education, a very weird homeschooling experience that seemed to focus a lot on history and weapon skills and very little on things like math and science that you would expect in a homeschooling environment. So when he accidentally sends himself back in time in the first book, it starts kind of dawning on him why he was given this education. He doesn't know why his dad never told him about this incredible world of time travel and everything else. But since it's a 7-book series, there are always questions that have to be left hanging. Can't give away everything in book one.
Well, does he have a time machine, or how is this phenomenon of time travel possible?
I use it with, this was actually something that I had to think long and hard when I first was thinking about a time travel series. It's like, okay, what are the mechanics of time travel going to be? Like, how much can a person influence the past? How do I get my person into the past? How do I solve the language problems? Because most people don't know medieval Mongolian, so having a modern day teen just plunked into the plains of Mongolia, he's not going to be able to communicate. Even Anglo-Saxon England of 1066, the language is completely different from modern English. So I kind of resolved all these issues by saying the actual time travel device is something like a baton from a relay race in size, metal, rotating sections, you rotate them around, they do different functions. So this transports him, and this also, when it's in contact with his skin, has the ability to act as a universal translator, kind of like the Babel fish from Douglas Adams' sci-fi books.
Well, I was just thinking about all the various time travel movies and things that have incorporated time travel. And they're all very different. I mean, there was the DeLorean in Back to the Future. And then there was the old TV show from the 60s, The Time Tunnel, which they had that spiral tunnel thing that exploded in smoke, and it looked like the Wizard of Oz. And then there was that old movie, George Pal, it was called The Time Machine.
Oh, with the thing that looked like a gold golf cart?
Yeah, kind of almost with a bicycle,
with
like he had to.
It?
Yeah. There was that strange thing, and then there was in the Men in Black, I think it was the 3rd or 4th one, Will Smith had to jump off the building, off the Chrysler building, to get going so fast that he would go back in time. He had some kind of like a big watch almost.
Yeah. See, but that's the thing. Like something like the time tunnel, or even the golden golf cart with the umbrella. Like if you go into the past, how do you hide the golden golf cart with the umbrella, and how do you still speak to the natives or to the people who are around? As I said, landing in Mongolia, I had to think of ways for my time traveler to manage to navigate around and also not stick out that much. And yeah, golden golf carts would do that. Huge machines would also do that. So I kind of went this way. It's more of a fantastical element than a scientific element. But it seemed to be the best way to go to keep the story kind of believable. without people asking, how come no one stumbled upon his time machine? How come, or how can he speak and converse with all the people around him?
Yeah, I think a DeLorean landing in the middle of the Gobi Desert would scare Genghis Khan, probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that thing would be trashed in seconds.
So you said you've got 3 books published. I see the other one is book 4 is over there, the poster. How many books do you anticipate are going to be in this series, or do you know yet?
Oh, this series, I'm actually working on book 7, which is the final book in the series. It actually took me a long time to get published. People generally ask me, oh, how long did it take you to get published? And it's like, well, it took me 1.5 years to write the book and 8.5 years to find an actual publisher to take the book. And, so some of these people I see every now and then on social media, it's like, oh my goodness, I've been waiting 3 weeks for a response and I still don't get it. It's like, oh, 3 whole weeks. Wait till that turns into 8.5 years. But yeah, and during that 8.5 year period of rejection, I just kept writing the series. Like I really enjoyed what I was writing. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the history. So I just kept writing and writing and writing. So when I actually did get a publisher, I had 6 books already done.
Well, I think
the 7th book.
I think you did. I think you did all right because do you know who David Baldacci is?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, well he's been on my show many times, and it took him 15 years.
No way.
Yeah, he was writing for 15 years before he made a dime.
Oh, geez. My stepdad loves his books.
So, yeah, and now he's, multi-million seller. So, you can't give up. I mean, that's really the trick is you got to keep going. Let me ask you something quick about publishing, and then we got to kind of wind this down. We're quickly running out of time. So did you consider self-publishing at all, or did you want to just go straight for the traditional publisher?
I'm an optimist, so I'm looking at this, and it's like, I'm thinking about my series, and I'm thinking, okay, this is a fantastic series. It uses real history, it uses real events. It's so informative and wonderful. My characters are great. Of course, in my head, everything's fantastic, right? And I'm thinking, no, I want to get a traditional publisher. I want to get the movie deals. I want to be, bigger than J.K. Rowling. They'll be going, she'll be going, oh my goodness, I wish I had written those books, instead of this Harry Potter crap that I wrote. This is what was going through my mind all the time. So I was definitely on the trad publishing side. Although after the, 8.5 years of rejection, I had started getting to the point where it's like, all right, no one's going to pick this up. So I resolved that if I finished book 7 and no one had picked it up, then I was going to go and self-publish.
Okay, fair enough. And it did. And it got published. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it did get published. And the first book, which came out just last year, it's won awards. It was part of the Forrester Reading Program, which is Canada's largest reading program for school students. The Independent Book Publishers Association gave it the Teen Fiction Award. So, yeah, it's doing well.
Well, I see you're getting some good reviews, so that's always a good sign. And I think on that, we're going to probably have to wind this down. The last question is, do you have a website that you want to give out?
Oh, yes. It's andrewvargaauthor.com.
Okay, great. And do you have any idea on when the 4th book is coming out?
So that one's August, I think, 5th of 2025.
Okay. Are you going to do one a year?
As you can see, they already have the cover. Oh, sorry about that.
I said, are you going to do one a year till you get to the 7th one?
Well, that's up to my publisher.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right, Andrew. Well, thank you for coming on the show, and best of luck with your book series. I hope it does well.
All right. Thank you very much for having me.